Hey, welcome back to 90s Bball Cards. Jake Roy here. Today we've got another pack opening. So our first pack opening of Season 3. And this is a product that we have opened something similar back in Season 1. I'll link that video down in the bio. But these are some packs that have some really crazy Jordan Fire potentially. And no sticking in these packs. We'll talk a little bit more about why that is. But let's get right into it. Alright, so today we've got 97, 98 Fleer. These are Series 2 hobby packs. So in the past, we've done Series 1, we've done retail, and one of the interesting things like this, like I said, there's no sticking on these, and that's because if you remember in that first video, or if you're familiar with the product, these are kind of like a paper finish. It's like a matte finish, and only some of the inserts and parallels didn't have that matte finish. The idea, and they actually advertise it on some of their packs, is this finish is better for catching autographs. So if you're one of those people who likes to go to games or go to player events and try to get in-person autographs, these cards are ideal for actually absorbing that ink and really holding a good, clean autograph. So it was interesting that Fleer decided to make a whole base set dedicated to getting autographs. But the positive, now that time has gone on, we've seen sticking in a lot of other products. These don't stick because they don't have that high gloss finish. That high gloss finish, over time tends to stick a lot, even sometimes with newer products. I know we've seen it, I've seen it in my past with Chrome, for example. Those tended to stick, from day one, and they haven't gotten any better over time. So that's an interesting feature of these. There's a lot of inserts that we could pull in here. A lot of Jordan cards. 97, 98 is famous for Jordan inserts. And also you've got a great rookie class. There's some Tim Duncan cards that we could pull in here. Obviously the parallels, some penny stuff that we'll go into. So a lot of firepower that I would love to see in the Jordan cards in this set. The inserts, we'll talk about the values a little bit more, but a lot of them hold a lot of value, irrespective of the odds. These Jordan cards are pretty sought after. So we've got 10 packs we're going to bust through, 10 cards per pack. But before we get into the packs, let's look at some of the fire we could pull and some of the PC items. All right, here we've got some of the PC items. So let's get into some of the odds. Starting up top, we've got first the first parallel, the Crystal Parallel. These are 1 and 2 packs. We've got a Anfernee Hardaway here. So like I said, these ones, unlike the base, these have a gloss finish. You can also notice that they have silver when we get into the opening the packs. You'll see that the base all have gold down on the name and such. And then also right under the Fleer logo, it will say Tradition Crystal. So those are, there's a lot of ways to tell that these are different. When you're opening packs, you definitely will notice these. These stand out quite a bit. 1 and 2 packs, so we should see quite a few of these. Hopefully we get some star players. The Tim Duncan is really the star that we're looking for. The Tim Duncan is about a $10 card, depending on condition. These packs, sometimes you can get some dings and stuff in them, but also centering is pretty key with these. And without a defined border, it's hard for people like myself to really know if you have a very well-centered one or not. Another telltale sign, if you go on the back, a lot of times you'll see parallels denoted right by the number. That's not the case here. Down on the bottom, right in the middle, you'll see kind of in script lettering, it says Crystal. So if you're looking at the back of the card, that's another good way to tell if you've got one of the parallels. So that is the Crystal 1 and 2 packs there. The next step up is the Tiffany. So these are 1 and 20 packs. We've got a Anfernee Hardaway and a Dennis Scott, so my Magic guys. But really, the one to focus in here on is definitely the Penny, in my opinion. The Dennis Scott is a cool one that I picked up for a couple bucks just because, I love D3. I love that Magic team. But looking at the Penny, like I said, 1 and 20 packs here. And similar denotation like the Crystal, just that this time you got that Tiffany blue. So that is kind of a famous blue color. And then you also have that gloss finish. So it's just another step up from the Crystal. These are a lot more sought after. So the Jordan, which is in Series 1, if you were to get a Tiffany, that, depending on condition again, that's about a $300 card. Now, if it gets graded and such, it can fluctuate based on the grade, but that just gives you an idea of, how sought after some of these are. So again, the Tim Duncan is really the key one that we're looking for here. And the Tim Duncan, depending how it looks, is about a $60 to $80 card. So opposed to a $10 with a Crystal that's 1 and 2, you've got quite a step up here when you're looking at the Tiffany of a good player. So hopefully we get good players of these parallels. If you get commons, they don't go for too much. And then again on the back, if you're looking, it'll say Tiffany with that script right down in the middle on the bottom. So that's another way to tell that you have a Tiffany rather than a crystal. So really cool looking cards. They definitely stand out quite a bit, and that blue kind of has a little bit of rainbow shine to it. Pretty sweet. The next, getting into some of the common inserts, 1 in 4 packs for the Gaudi Greats, or Gaudi, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. So this was really kind of a homage back to one of the earliest sports card sets. So you get kind of a mini card. If you go and do some research, you'll see that there were football cards that these were, kind of made popular by. So this is kind of paying homage to that. You can even look at the jersey on Penny. You can see there's a lot less detail, like the pinstripes you kind of see fade away a little bit, even some of the lettering with the magic. So that kind of, again, pays homage back to that older style of card where it almost looked like it was a bit of a drawing rather than a true picture. So you don't get as much detail. So kind of interesting stuff. You got Nate Archibald on the bottom there, and he's got a little bit to say on the back. So these are kind of fun little throwback cards. Don't hold a lot of value. A little bit smaller, so you definitely will notice that that you've got something different when you're opening these, but not a lot of value. Nothing crazy, but definitely fun cards to add to your collection. The next step up for an insert is the Rookie Sensation. So here we've got, if I can pick it up, here we've got the T-Mac. So the Rookie Sensations are 1 in 8 packs. T-Mac and Tim Duncan were really the highlights of the rookie class here, but these, 1 in 8 packs, you're not getting a whole ton of value here. You can even see that there's a little bit of edge wear on this one. That's pretty common with these. I've got another one of Derek Anderson where the edges are, pretty chipped up. So that's not uncommon to see, but you want to see one come out in good shape. And, kind of an interesting design here that they did with kind of that picture, a little bit of, I don't know if that's called fading or zooming or what, but definitely something that was a popular photo effect in the 90s. So these are very 90s looking cards. Love that Raptors uniform. T-Mac coming right out of high school. He wasn't the highest expected player to be drafted. He didn't have great expectations, but he had a great career. So I love getting some of his rookie cards. All right, and then getting to some stuff that's got a little bit different stuff for the design. We've got Towers of Power. So these are 1 in 18 packs. Here we've got a Kevin Garnett. And this was a set really designed just around the bigs, some of the best bigs in the league. So Kevin Garnett was definitely in there. You've got other guys like Shaq were in this set. Kind of cool looking die cut at first, but then if you take a closer look, you can actually unfold these, and it doubles in height, if you will. And there's another picture of the player inside, really kind of highlighting that they are, some of the taller, bigger guys in the league. So that's really the focus of the set. Again, not a ton of value here. 1 in 18 packs, not the rarest cards to pull. So for a card like this of Kevin Garnett, you're probably looking at $5 or so. Nothing crazy to write home about, but could be an interesting one to get graded because they might have, I haven't seen any in slabs, but they might have it flattened out, which I tend to think is a cool presentation for those. So that's the Tower of Power. Now getting to some of the more valuable, more sought after stuff. So we have got the High Flying Soaring Stars, which are 1 in 24 packs. We got Kevin Garnett here. Jordan is definitely the headliner in this set. You've also got Kobe. You got a lot of great stars. The interesting thing with this is there's actually a Soaring Stars set, which is more common, but the Soaring Stars set you can only get in hobby, whereas the High Flying Soaring Stars you can only get in the Soaring Stars you can only get in retail, whereas the High Flying Soaring Stars you can only get in hobby. So kind of interesting. And if you're just, out mulling around and looking, some of the telltale signs are obviously where it says High Flying right above the Soaring Stars, but also you get a little bit of embossing on the player. You get a little bit more of a foil design within the lettering, but also the background behind the player. You get a little bit of a sparkle, almost like a metallic finish. It's very subtle, but that's definitely one of the ways you can tell. So that's kind of cool. The other thing that you can look for is on the back. The background that in the front is blue is black on these, whereas on the regular Soaring Stars, it's also blue on the back. So if you've got black on the back, that's another way to tell that you get a high-flying Soaring Stars. So, the Kevin Garnett here, pretty cool card, probably about a $10 card. The Jordan is really where the fire is. That's about a $100 card depending on condition. If it gets graded and it grades high, you can definitely see it get more. But right around $100 is about an approximate value for the high-flying Soaring Stars Jordan. Next step up, we've got the Zone. Some people call it the O-Zone because you see that little oval. Kind of looks almost like they could be talking about the offensive player, but a lot of people just call it Zone. So these are 1 in 36 packs, so definitely pretty rare pulls. These are also a hobby exclusive. And these are very commonly pretty poorly conditioned, especially with the edge wear and stuff like that. So, these are very definitely condition sensitive cards. For an example, I was watching a Jordan recently, which sold. When I was looking at it, I was thinking it might be about a $50 card, but I took a closer look. It had very poor corners and edges. It ended up selling for about $35 shipped. Because it was in such bad shape. But if you get one that's in good shape, you can be looking at upwards of $100, $150. So, it definitely varies, and if you get one that's in good shape, it definitely pays to get it graded. And, that way anybody who's looking to purchase it definitely has that reassurance that it's in good shape copy. So a little bit of an interesting thing there, that these, are very commonly damaged when they come out of the pack. This Penny's in pretty good shape. Penny being my PC guy, always happy to have this card. But the Jordan's definitely the firepower, and this is a popular Jordan set around Jordan collectors. So you definitely want to find one in good shape, though, and be careful when you're looking at them to look at the zoomed-in pictures to make sure that you're getting one that is in good shape, because you don't want to spend $80, $90 on one that, would actually probably sell for $40 or $50 because of the condition. So that's the Zone set, hobby exclusive on that. And now, the cream of the crop here is the Thrill Seekers. So these are 1 in 288 packs. You can kind of see some of that shine in the background. I call this kind of a poor man's PMG championship, because if you remember, the PMG championship has kind of like that wheel spiral design. So pretty cool stuff there. But then also in the front, you've got like a paper fabric, kind of like the base set. Really an interesting when you get it in hand, because you've got the juxtaposition of those two, the hollow foil with the spirals, and then you've got that paper finish. So really cool looking cards, very hard to pull. You've got all the top stars. You've got obviously the Penny here. You've got Iverson. You've got Jordan. You've got Tim Duncan, who's the rookie year. So that goes a little bit better, or sells a little bit better. But these are definitely what we're looking to get. And, I already have a Penny. I would love to get another one. I'd love to get an Iverson. But the Jordan, like I said, is the highlight. And these Jordans are very sought after, very collectible. So, these ones go for about $700 or $800. Sometimes you can find them going for around $600 or $650, but $700 or $800 is right around, the sweet spot. And again, if they grade well, then you're going to be definitely looking for a little uptick in value. But really cool looking cards in hand. It's one of those cards that I didn't really appreciate when I saw pictures of it until I got one in hand and got one in my collection. So definitely something to be on the lookout for in these packs. Would love to pull one in 288 packs. Definitely not expected, but that's what we're hoping for. Hopefully we get some of that fire. Let's get into it. All right, so we've got 10 packs, 10 cards per pack. Grant Hill is the cover athlete. I know in the first one we did talk about those Diamond Ink. You could get a Kobe autograph ball, so we'll definitely see some Diamond Ink cards in here. Let's bust it. These are also, they open easy. All right, Kurt Thomas, KG base, very nice. Bobby Hurley. There we go with a crystal of Sean Respert, not necessarily the greatest. Memorable moments, those are 1 per pack. We didn't talk about those. David Robinson. There we go with the Tracy McGrady Diamond Ink, 5 points. Sean Respert base. Danny Fortson rookie. David Robinson base. Joe Smith. We've got a Terry Cummings and Eric Dampier.
We have one of my favorite pictures of Wesley Person.
Right? Like, what's he doing in there?
Reggie Miller.
Okay.
Dennis, your boy Dennis Scott. Another crystal, but this one's Johnny Newman. See a little Kobe there.
Little Kobe.
Alonzo Mourning. Danny Fortson diamond.
1 diamond.
David Wesley. Got Iverson base.
Nice.
Steve Smith. Vin Baker. Eddie Jones. Greg Foster.
Here's one thing I would love about these, right? So look at the Vin Baker. They denoted right down here. Look at how good. All NBA team and All-Star. You'd think he's great. He's not.
He was for a few years. Then he became an alcoholic. Got out of shape.
Seattle
got
Reign
traded to the Celtics, and his career was over.
Yeah. Boy. Well, that... Oh, geez. This one's like already opening. All right. T-Mac rookie. Very nice. I'll put that over here. Charles O'Bannon rookie. Juwan Howard. Greg Foster. Calvert Cheney. Another Crystal. Mark Price with the Magic. Not bad. Eric Snow. Another Danny Fortson rookie. Scottie Pippen.
Nice.
See? He's got 3 of those. He's really good. Jim Jackson. Tracy McGrady, 1 point. And Larry Johnson, memorable moments.
All right. John Williams. Rick Fox. Charles Outlaw. A rookie of John Thomas. A rookie of Serge Zwinker.
Your favorite UNC boy.
Hey.
There we go. Checklist, everybody's friend, and...
Tower of Power. Marcus Camby.
So let's look at this. Let's look at this beauty.
Bring it, you gotta bring it way down.
A little sticking in there.
Bring it down.
Wow. Not a great picture from Camby.
No. All right, now we have an Anthony Parker rookie, another Danny Fortson rookie.
Jeez.
A Dean Garrett.
Who's that?
Yeah, Kevin Garnett, Jake. That's who that is. Chauncey and
Hey,
Penny.
It's like my 15th.
We only opened 7,000 of these packs when we were younger. With the number of these packs that we opened, we really should have probably gotten maybe 1 Thrill Seekers. Or were they all retail that we opened when we were younger?
Probably all retail. The Reverend Knight rookie. Bobby Phils. Tracy Murray. Another Vin Baker. He was good. There's your Wesley Person.
It's just a funny picture.
Tariq Abdul-Wahad rookie crystal. Always nice to get a rookie crystal, but not the best player. Steve Smith. Howard Isley. Antonio Daniels rookie. Eric Dampier. Tim Thomas 1 point. And memorable moments of Wayman Tisdale.
You want to know why I remember Wayman Tinsdale?
Why?
From the 93-94 SE when I pulled that.
The electric cord gold.
Yeah.
I was looking at that earlier today. Like, this haunting me.
All right, we got Tyrone Hill. Scott Pollard, rookie. Damon Stoudemire. I'll just do this now. Herbert Davis. Glenn Rice. Harvey Grant. Crystal. Another Iverson.
Cool.
Anthony Johnson, rookie. Now there's Scotty. A Clarence. Tracy McGrady, 1. And a Mookie Blaylock, $1 Million Moments.
All right, Chris Mullen. Got a Rick Fox. Got a, who's this? Khalid Reeves. Oh, yeah, his rookie we got last time.
A lot of them.
Mark Jackson. Kurt Thomas. There we go with our crystal of Brian Grant. Big Country Bryant Reeves. We've got a Derek Harper with the Magic. Got a rookie of Ed Gray. Antonio Davis. 1 point for Tim Thomas and Glenn Rice.
All right. Chris Whitney, Bobby Phils, Donald Foyle, rookie, Greg Anderson, Dana Barros.
There we go.
Here is your Clyde Drexler.
Gaudi. Gaudi, whatever it is.
Anthony Parker rookie. We got a rookie of Roderick Rhodes here. Johnny Stockton.
Solid.
Your boy, Dean Garrett again. And Tony McDice, 1-star. And another Johnny Stockton.
All right, 2 more packs left. It's a good chance. Jason Kidd. Got Johnny Taylor rookie. Michael Finley. Very cool. Put that over there. Nick Anderson.
Wow,
Terry
okay, that
DeHeer.
pile just became a wasteland of garbage.
Crystal of Kurt Thomas. Rookie of Tony Battie. We've got a Clifford Rozier. Antonio McDice, nice picture. Harvey Grant base to go with that crystal. A 1 diamond Antonio McDice and a Damon Stoudemire memorable moments.
All right, last pack, always garbage. Don't have to worry about it.
Wow.
Is that not accurate?
No, it's not accurate.
Oh, my bad. Well, interesting. Both of them are backwards.
Oh, it's not a great sign.
So, Corey Alexander. We got a Michael Finley. Might as well put him in the stars. We got a Bubba Wells rookie. Loy Vaught Crystal. There's your $1 million moments. KG.
Cool.
T-Mac 1-star. We got a Chris Webber. Here, I'll put him there for you, you weirdo. Kurt Thomas. David Wesley. 3rd Allen Iverson. Steve Smith.
All right, so that's what we did. So nothing really to write home about. I mean, there really wasn't anything great. Getting the Tower of Power. I mean, per the odds, we beat the odds with this one, but maybe $1 for the markets can be not the most exciting. I mean, the Tower of Power set in general, you're not getting a whole lot of value. Bigs typically aren't the most sought after when it comes to collectability. A lot of guards and some of those mid-range forwards, but those centers and bigs tend to not be as collectible over time. So not the most sought after set in the world there. The Gaudi greats, per the odds, we should have gotten 2. We only got 1. Clyde Drexler, again, not the greatest, but not the greatest set in the world to get star power in anyway. So, I think the best crystal that we got was probably the Tariq Abdul-Wahad because it's a rookie. And that's really the only reason there. I mean, other than that, maybe the Mark Price, Loy Vaught, Brian Williams, take your pick. So nothing crazy. Really, if you're getting these packs or a box, probably the box is the better way to go because you get a much better chance of getting a Zone, getting a Tiffany, which are really where you're going to see more value. But, Thrill Seeker, Zone, High Flying Soaring Stars, and the Tiffany, those are really the 4 things that you're looking for, and a good player to boot. The Thrill Seekers, any of those are going to be good. Any of those are going to be collectible because it's a great set and it's very rare, 1 in 288 packs. But if you pull a common of the Tiffany, that's not going to be anything too exciting. A Mark Price Tiffany card is not anything that's going to be paying for your lunch. So that's what we got in interesting cards with that paper finish. I know we talked about it in the first video, but if you're looking at, let's take a Wesley Person, for example. I know we talked about this, how thin these are, how flimsy these are. I mean, these are really, it's similar to a product like Panini Complete. I kind of compared it to those. This is really thin paper stock. You can see, not having that gloss, there's no rigidity to these at all. So that's why these can tend to get damaged a little bit easier. If you see these just kind of shuffling around in somebody's box, without any sort of penny sleeve or anything on them, they're a lot more prone. They're a lot softer material than, say a Topps Stadium Club type card or a Topps Chrome. So a little bit more susceptible to getting damaged that way. So do be careful with these. Even when you're looking at stuff that does have gloss like the Tiffany and the Crystal, it's still a pretty thin card stock, which, it was an interesting choice. A lot of companies at this point in time started to get a little bit thicker card stock because that's a little bit more of a premium feel. Obviously, you don't want to get it too thick, but these were definitely, more about the finish being a little bit unique and trying to get autographs on the cards. Again, we talked about the diamond ink in the first one, and this is a good way to get a Kobe Bryant autograph, is what we were highlighting. Those are even more sought after now, given what has happened since that first filming. So these diamond ink cards are really unique because you could collect all of these that you want and try to get enough for a certain player. But in my experience and what we saw here is most of the players, I got a lot of Tim Thomas and Tony Batiste floating around in my collection. So those aren't necessarily the players that you're looking to get an autographed mini ball of, but that's what you could do. You could try to get those. In the memorable moments set was an interesting one. We didn't talk about this the first time, but what you could do with these is collect the entire set. So on the back, it'll tell you like what number out of 50. There are 50 cards, including a checklist. And if you collect all of these, then there's something you can mail it away and get something in return. I can't remember exactly what the giveaway was, but after doing some research, the way that they kind of made this a little bit more exclusive is they short printed the last 5 in the set. So the last 5 players are very hard to find. And I'll try to do a little bit of research and drop it down in the description. I can't remember off the top of my head who those 5 players were, but those ones, for player collectors, are definitely more highly sought after. Since that has expired, you can't, send those into Fleer now that they're bankrupt and get anything back. But if you're a player collector, you're looking to get that card in your collection. Unlike Penny's pretty easy to get. I got another one here. I've got plenty of those in my collection. But those last 5 players are tough to come by because they were short printed because they didn't want to make it easy, for this giveaway to get filled in too quickly. So, kind of some interesting things going on here. I personally was not a big fan of that paper finish. While I did open a lot of these packs as a kid, it was more because they were pretty affordable. Those retail packs, they went for like $1 or $2 typically. So I ripped a lot of those because, with my allowance money I could, but you aren't pulling any thrill seekers out of those retail packs. So afterwards, when I got a little bit older, I was able to get a thrill seekers. That was definitely something, and this Penny, like I said, these things just really, catch your eye in person. So really cool cards with, this is where I think that texture really does shine, so to speak, or lack thereof, because you've got the shiny foil in the background that really sets it apart to have that variety there. So, this is one of those sets that you're really looking to get some firepower to get your money back, and if you don't, then it's kind of going to be a bust. But that is typical with the 90s. So, that's what we did today. Question of the day for you is, were you or are you a fan of getting in-person autographs? So that was really the highlight of these cards here, is that texture. So is that something that you enjoy? So, if that is, and some of these players are players that you might want to seek, this might be a good card for you to get to go and seek out that autograph. But drop that down in the comments if you are personally a fan of in-person autographs. I know some people are huge fans and have great in-person autograph collections, and other people aren't. So my answer personally is I'm not a huge in-person autograph fan. While I do have some, the most memorable ones, my father took my brothers and I to an autograph signing of Eric Montross when he was drafted in 1994. He got drafted to the Celtics, so a lot of people were excited. Local, town kind of sports team, everybody in New England kind of roots for the Celtics by default. So everybody was excited to see him. And it was interesting meeting a 7-footer and getting his autograph at that point in time. I didn't really have any sort of real good understanding of how good he was expected to be, but he didn't pan out. And then one of my more fond memories of actually getting in-person autographs were actually in 2003. I went to some of the summer games that were held in Boston. It was actually a venue that I played a lot of AAU games in, so I was pretty familiar with it. So I went there, and at that point in time, the tickets were pretty affordable for summer league games, and you'd buy one ticket for the day. You'd go for the whole day, and I think there were 3 or 4 games that would play, so you'd see 6 to 8 teams play, and a lot of times those players that are playing, those are rookies or free agents or people that are trying to make the squad. So you're seeing a lot of those younger guys, and a lot of times they aren't high-profile guys. They're just kind of mulling around, walking through, some of them I actually, not knowing, sat next to Kyle Korver when he was a rookie, which is, in hindsight, really cool. Met some guys, and, you kind of have some interactions with players that some of them you tend to like a little bit more because of your interaction. Like, when I got to meet Sam Clancy or Brendan Haywood, and some of you tend to like a little bit less. Maybe you have a not great interaction, like I had a not great interaction with Juan Dixon. So if I get a Juan Dixon card, I'm not going to hold on to that because I don't feel too fondly for him. But it was really interesting. And 2003, if you remember, was LeBron James' rookie year, and the last game of the day was actually between the Wizards and the Cavaliers. So all of a sudden, towards the end of the day when the Cavaliers were getting ready to play and LeBron was going to come out, you saw that gym fill up pretty quickly. So I got to meet some announcers, some analysts. I remember David Aldridge was there. Got to run into him, which was cool. So the Summer League was a really cool, really fun experience for me. And getting those autographs definitely was a good way for me to kind of remember some of that, some of those interactions. I still have a lot of those, but I think that's really what it hits for me is that kind of memory of an event, not necessarily something of value. But some people like those for value purposes. So that's kind of my long story about in-person autographs personally. So, thanks for watching the video. I think that's enough for today on this product. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss any videos in the future. New videos like this will drop on Wednesdays. Any bonus content will drop on Fridays. Thanks. We'll talk later.